You come up with the idea and then approach people?
Yeah, I came up with the six-pack thing. One guy said, I'll get it. He nearly bottled it in the first hour of the tattoo on the first day. I want to work legitimately, I don't want to be banned because it just takes one slip up and you got to look over your shoulder. But the last 10 paintings maybe was all completely freehand, portraits of people, animals, everything straight on with the brush because I want to challenge myself.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Alex Lloyd and this is a 21st Century Tattoo. Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, we're rolling. Sweet.
Awesome.
Dean, thank you for having us.
Thanks, man. Thank you for coming. Yes.
Love the space.
Thank you.
I guess I want to say congratulations as well on this first year anniversary.
It's our 1 year, man. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Tell me about how the last year has been then.
Well, it's been pretty good. I mean, I think it's a bit up and down. I think a lot of artists found lately it's a little bit quiet, but we work on appointment only. Yeah. So we only see one person a day, keep it, intimate. The stuff we do is anyway takes a lot of time. So just see one person a day. So it works really well. Yeah. If I can fit about 4 people a week kind of thing, I don't want to cramp it too much.
Nice. Do you try and do what you do about 4 days, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about this as well, because obviously the stuff that you're doing is quite big scale.
Yes.
Are you doing like back-to-back days if people are traveling, or how does that work? Yeah,
preferably. Also, a lot of people travel, so it works out better for them to do back-to-back. And then they can stay in hotels and so on. I had a guy recently who wanted to do like 5 days straight away, and I just said, mate, listen, it's his first tattoo as well. Yeah. So I said, look, let's go for 3 days. It's also the healing process. You don't want to go in, while it starts flaking and healing and working on it. I think 3 days, I've done 4 on people. Not only is it like torture for them by the 4th day, but it's, I think the quality of skin in that, it's a bit, I prefer it when it's a bit more fresh and not so, it's like worked,
Yeah. No, I couldn't do that. I think I've done have I ever done 3 days back to back? I think maybe once.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Yeah, it makes you feel ill.
Yeah, you want your clients to sit well for
That's
it. Because do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you must, with your style, I guess I kind of want to talk about colour realism.
Yes.
Because it's something which is wildly different to the stuff that I do. And I massively respect it. I guess I want to kind of ask you, I presume the majority of your bookings come from social media. You must get a lot of people travelling. Yeah. How do you find... the popularity of colour realism like today and nowadays when you see a lot of the black and grey work? Yeah,
I think it picked up a lot. I think there's still certain areas where black and grey work is quite a lot, especially where I worked up in Rawtenstall at my mate Johnny's. I think the black and grey was like really a thing. And then, you bring in the colour and it didn't really take off in the beginning, but it was still comfortable, like... It's still word of mouth. They didn't really have to advertise much, and the work was still coming in. I found recently a little bit of a dip, but then I do like a special where I say, if you book now, it's my shop anniversary. If you book now, you get a 20% off. And I did a draw yesterday, actually, where one person won a 3-day session and then another 3 people got like 50% off. And that also helps people like interact, get the word out. So whenever things go a bit quiet, I just try and think out of the box to get out there and keep it going. So obviously the living cost is not helping anybody and all that shit. So
yeah. I know it's a difficult one. It's definitely a difficult time, but obviously your work is so specialist that and you're obviously, I would say you're really one of the best at what you're doing right now.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I love the work. I think it's great. So maybe let's talk about I want to know, I think before we started recording, we were talking about how you used to do a bit of black and grey. Talk me about your journey maybe into tattooing and how you ended up where you are today.
Right. So, let's take it right to the beginning. I've always been artistic, loved drawing, kind of had a knack for it. And then once I finished school, I kind of went into your typical sales jobs and that. Yeah, okay. And it just didn't fulfill me. Hated it with everything. I even went to an interview because at the time I was still in school. My mom organized me this interview, and I didn't want it at all. And I had longish hair when I still had a bit of hair, earring. You know, I was like, I purposely showed up not wanting that job, and then still got it, and just didn't like it. And then at some point, I found a job. It was a friend in the family. He's got this business called Yummy Foods, and they do like catering for any occasion and weddings and parties and whatever. So in the mornings, they had all these huge lunch boxes, and you stop by offices, and then people just buy lunch so they don't have to go out in the morning. Oh, okay. So it's all sorts of health sandwiches and burgers and papa bites and mousses, whatever. So I'd be done by that time by 12 o'clock, one max. And then I used to go hang out at a tattoo shop in the chef outfit. Like, I had to wear it. I'm not a chef, but, I had this outfit with the buttons, and I would sit there and trace and just hang out with the guys. And I used to get tattooed there. And I think, the first tattoo I got, I was about 18 or so. And the guy who did it is one of my best friends. So his brother's friend, this guy came out of prison. Yeah. And he said he'll do me a tattoo. And at the time, if you put it in pounds, it cost £2. So what he did, you get these black armbands. It's from a car. It's like an O-ring. And then you melt it down into like foil, and it drips in the foil. And then you just fold it together, like rub it together, and made a fine black dust powder. And this is obviously long ago. And this guy told me, right, so in prison, you put a little bit of water, maybe a bit of spit, make it a bit of sticky, obviously your own. I wouldn't recommend it because it's nasty. Yeah. And he made me my first tattoo on my leg. It's like a spade, So I can show you in a bit.
I need to look at this. Yeah, we'll have a look.
And I never covered that because that is my first tattoo, and I was so proud of it. But then it always, fascinated me, the tattoo side of things. And then I decided one day, right, take the money, take everything out of the equation. If I must do a job, like, what's going to make me happy? And it's tattooing, man, like art. First I thought, okay, what you good at? I can draw. And I thought, okay, but the drawing will be is a bit too boring for me just on its own if I must do it forever. And then it just hit me, tattooing, I've been getting the tattoos. I've been dabbling all these things. I've been hanging out at the shops, drawing. And I was like, yeah. But obviously that time, the tattooing wasn't something you mentioned to the family. I'm going to become a tattooist, and everyone's like happy for you. Yeah. It was more a bit, frowned upon, even today still, man. Yeah. But then when I decided, right, that's it. Like, no questions asked. Don't care what anyone says. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And then that's it. That's when the journey started. And I was 21 years old then.
How long have you been doing it now?
14 years, turning 35 in October.
Yeah. And did you learn back in South Africa then?
At the beginning,
Cape Town, yeah?
Yes, in Cape Town. At the beginning, I started, there was one lady, I tattooed one tattoo with her stuff. She helped me get my, all the gear and everything. Because at the time, it was very, very hard to get an apprenticeship. There was no information on YouTube. You couldn't find anything, mate. Like, so in the first 2 years, I was self-taught, and it was actually such a long, drawn-out process and such a slow learning process. It took me about 6 months to finally found out that you need to dilute the black with with the water to get different shades. But I didn't know that because nobody told me. And I just thought you just have to do quick hand movements, and it's all in the pressure. So I tattooed some of my mates, and I fixed up the stuff that I did back then, the first. Even like my best mate back then, I told him, mate, you'll never pay for a tattoo because you got all the worst ones I've done is on you. Like.
Yeah, supported from day one.
Yeah, he's in the Navy as well, so it suits him kind of in a weird
nice. way. Was it like, how, obviously you must have known that you were quite artistic to begin with. Yeah. How did you end up kind of hanging around that shop? And was there anyone in that shop that then kind of, did you try and get an apprenticeship with them, or how did that all kind of, where did you actually then, I just kind of want to know how that developed, Yeah,
so, can I say, What was the first thing you said? Sorry.
So you were hanging out at that tattoo studio, weren't you? And that was, and those guys that you were hanging out with, like, were they people that you could see you learning from? Like, how, do you know what I mean? How many of them were there?
So I used to get tattooed there, you know,
fun.
In the beginning. And it was quite a rough area, Epping, Reiterwach. So quite dodgy area and that, but I wouldn't necessarily say I wanted to learn there. I just kind of hanged out there with the guys a bit and that. And I wasn't sure where exactly I was going. I went to studios, actually, some of the best studios at the time. And I made this little portfolio. I went to go buy at the arts and crafts shop. I would go buy black and orange paper, and I would cut about 1 centimeter off the black paper, whatever, stick it on the orange, so it's got like a little frame. And at the time, it was photos that you had to go in to develop. And I would stick them on of all these like shitty tattoos. And I went to some of these tattoo studios, and, you know, some of them tell you straight away, you know, fuck off. And that's how it is. I mean, it was very, very hard. So the first 2 years, mate, I was just tattooing my own thing, you know.
Yeah.
And then I went to work in a studio, and then another studio, and then I just carried on working on my own. And yeah, for most part of my life, I was just working on my own. And I wouldn't say I progressed loads, but obviously my work got neater. So I was doing quite all right. Never had to advertise. Everybody knew where I was, say, for the past 10 years in my hometown. And that's when I decided I'm going to come to UK.
Mm-hmm. So, and you've been in the UK tattooing for
5 years.
5 years. Yeah. What would you say the main differences in the industry in this country compared to back in South Africa?
It's the design work, the creativity that goes into the designs and stuff is absolutely next level here in Europe and you know, those parts of the world. I think South Africa, there's a lot of talented tattoo artists. Yeah. They just need a break. They just need, same for me, man. I was out there. I was doing, you know, kind of average stuff. It's like when I went there, I did a seminar just talking to the people and just about taking a proper photo with like a CPR lens or whatever. Yeah. No one's even seen it, you know, or heard of it. It's like, I think the people just need to get a bit of a break. It's a bit far behind there. Like I say, there's like one tattoo convention a year, and there was about 3 years where it didn't even happen. And I thought, this is dead, man. You know, I went to the convention before I was even an artist, and then it was like Paul Booth, Bob Terrell. These guys used to be there. So the scene over here, it's much more like creative designs and next level.
Yeah, you know? Maybe like down to resources and stuff as well.
Yeah,
man. So you must have had it must have been quite a difficult move to decide after that amount of time. What, 10 years to then come over?
Yeah.
I presume you've never looked back though.
No.
And I think you originally said before we started recording, you settled in Bournemouth originally, was it?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that and then how you ended up coming up to Manchester.
Well, also I did a bit of a shotgun wedding thing for the whole passport thing. It wasn't, you know, just for the passport. I mean, met this woman at the time, things were working, but we got married within 6 months because she said, look, I've got an EU passport, and if we come to UK, we can both go. Yeah. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And I thought, you know, it's meant to be kind of thing and all that. Got married, came here, and it was, eventually things just didn't work. I mean, who the hell married after 6 months and, you know, you don't even know the person. So, it was all good, all nice, you know, clean breakup, whatever. But it got me here. And I've got a awesome girl, Sam, who's also my apprentice who works with me. Mm-hmm. And so never looking back. I mean, when I started out, I first came to UK, rented a small little room that it was this, I think it's a Romanian guy. He was subletting, weren't allowed, but it was this little room. Yeah. For like 300 a month. And then I saved up, you know, I started working the next day since I landed. And then saved up for a nicer apartment, and places are quite expensive down south as well.
Yeah.
And then it just escalated. I mean, I quit drinking the first 6 months I landed in the UK. Because back home, I used to ride for a bike club. We were always at rallies, parties. People used to stop at my house. My doors would always be open. I didn't have 9-to-5 job. You know, I used to have a studio rigged in at my house, proper nice. You walk through the beads and tiles and proper studio. But I was always up for a party, and you know, my work also led under it because you've got no drive, ambition when you always hanging. So when I came to the UK, I was kind of away from everything and everybody. So within 6 months, I was like, right, I want to quit this shit now for good.
Yeah.
And then I changed studios. The other studio I went to, no one drink there. Some of them smoke a bit of doobie and that, but it was much more mellow vibes. You know, because being in a studio where people drink or at the shop, and it kind of affected me, especially when I try to stop drinking. So no hard feelings to the people. I mean, they do what they do, but I just knew I had to move out. And then a thing that helped me a lot was when I quit the drinking, I was feeling very bored because obviously that's what I used to do every day. And I found the old man, Jeffrey, there in Bournemouth. He's giving painting lessons. He's like 78 years old. So I went to him for painting classes one-on-one, like once a week, you know, and I would just start a project. And that was it's almost like a rehab thing if you look at it, you know. I would start projects with him, sit there in his quiet little studio with all this art, and I would just learn from him painting and that. And then that reflected on my work as well, because people's like, what you doing? Your work is looking different. I said, I don't fucking know. I think it must be the painting, you know, that's helping me. It definitely is.
100%.
Yeah.
And was that mainly in colour?
Colour,
Do you think that's where that transition then happened? I think a lot of people forget this about tattooing. Like, tattooing itself is just another medium.
Yeah.
It's just like painting or something.
Exactly.
It's just another way of doing something creative. So it's like, I think... And I speak to so many artists who stress this. It's like, if you want to improve your tattooing, you have to go back to the basics, like the painting and the drawing.
That's it.
So talk to me about kind of how that then reflected in your work. Yeah,
so that was the same time, roundabout when I tried doing my first color portrait, because no one in the studio was doing it. A few guys, they're Japanese, mostly black and gray. No one in the area, but I knew, right, this is what I want to do. But where the painting helped, like you say, it's the same. You apply it in different mediums, like, you know. So the painting, you still have your color palette. Same with tattooing. You've got your color palette. You apply that to there as well. So you keep learning. And what I would say with the painting, you can use the 5 colors and you can make like any color, you know, like alizarin crimson, red, ultramarine blue, what is the other, canary yellow, I mean, then obviously titanium white, and then it's your, what is that, the brown, burnt umber. And I mean, with those, you can literally mix any color out there, obviously not neon colors, but if you take those 5, you can do, because in nature and realism, everything is a bit muted anyway. Nothing is like neon kind of thing, you know. But that's a good starting point. And then once you get comfortable with those colors, you introduce another color maybe. And I mean, it's good. Just start out by getting understanding even of how a color wheel works, primary, secondary, tertiary, and then how it even goes more and more on. And just play around with it, you know, practice. So that definitely helps, mate. Yeah. I know everyone always say you need to draw more, you need to paint more, but it's true though. It's understanding color theory is like, it's one thing that I need to spend more time now understanding that. I'm like, I enjoy black and grey. Yeah. I like the way it looks, and I'm used to it now. Yeah. So I'm kind of slightly neglected the color side of things, and I do need to go back into that. Yeah. Yeah, and your work is obviously very vibrant. Like, it's obviously just been trial and error. Yeah. I want to know as well, maybe where you and how you get your references for your pieces. Yeah.
And talk to me about how you get that stuff looking so clean.
Another thing I just wanted to mention to you is also the old painters, like the old masters, what they did, if they didn't have a purple, like for instance, they would also with the layering, like glazing. So they'll do like blue and then they'll glaze with a red over it and get a purple shine, because your eye goes through the layers. The more layers you glaze, the more depth a painting will have and the more realistic it will look.
Does that work in tattooing as well?
Well, you can layer in tattooing. That's why you have to be careful how you work the skin, because I think it will work to a certain extent, maybe, like say a very simple example. If you take red from the left to the right side and then some orange and then from the right yellows right into it, and you'll get a nice blend. Yeah. But I mean, with a painting, you can do layer on layer on layer, like endlessly, and it will just be more intense. As far as for reference and that, I mean, there's so many websites where you can get good. I mean, there's that reference 87 of DBK. Then, I mean, I think a lot of people use Pinterest. There's 500px, pixels.com.
Yeah.
And then also I had a guy come to me for, he was like a massive In-Betweeners fan. And he brought a fucking camp chair, lighter fluid, everything, because he wanted the last scene in the series, right? I don't know if it was a series or film, but they burn a chair or something.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're on about. Where he drives the car into the lake or something and then burn, maybe that?
Yeah, maybe, I think so.
Or but TV program, I don't know.
Yeah, so we took this chair to the back there of the forest where it used to be and just set it on fire, took photos, took some of the flames that I thought looked nice, put it all together in Photoshop. So it's nice to be a bit creative like that,
100%.
So, the people just normally come to me saying, right, I want, this theme or whatever, or I'm a scuba diver and I like this fish and that shark and, this kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe this map, or then that's cool. Then I'll take everything. I always tell people, give me about 3 things you definitely want in your tattoo and 3 things you definitely don't want in there. Like, if you don't like hammerhead sharks, then just tell me beforehand so I don't put it in. And obviously, I don't send designs out. I've made that mistake before. You send designs out, they show it to their wife, their husband, and then, they're not the artists, but they'll have opinion, they confuse them. Then they come back and confuse you. I've had a woman put it out on Facebook, all the designs, asking the public that you don't even know their opinion. And then, it come to a point where I just say, rather leave it.
Yeah, I never understand that. I think people trying to get validation. Almost always then there will be amendments that need to be made.
Yeah.
How long do these pieces, say you're doing like one client a day, how long do you kind of draw these bits up, like a while in advance, or are you like night before?
It's usually night before. If it's really something big, they're also depending how many people I've got booked in before. Because that's another thing. I think most artists, we do it like, either on the day. Some prefer it with the client there, or the day before.
Yeah.
I prefer the day before when I'm chilled out, get comfortable, and then I get into the creative process,
Yeah.
Rather than someone peering over my shoulder.
That's it. I don't think you're no stranger to doing stuff out of the box and thinking out of the box.
Yeah,
I've seen you've done a couple of pieces recently which have blown up on Instagram.
Yeah,
namely the 6-pack tattoo and the night trainers on the guy's feet.
Yeah,
can you tell me a little bit more about how those pieces came to be?
Yeah, man. To be honest with you, how social media, it's a bit. Everyone say it's quite hard to get out there and to grow your account now. And it's true, though. I mean, I've seen people with, say, 500,000 followers who's lost their account. Dimitri Simone's a good example, and he's amazing. I was supposed to get tattooed by him last month. I waited like 3 years to get in. They got me a spot, then it was locked down. Then they got me another spot, and it was the wall. I mean, he's got a new account and I think it's around like 5K or something. It's just not going up. It's very hard. So I thought, listen, you know, it will be good for business. I want to do something that's going to go viral or something, you know.
Yeah.
And to be honest, man, I wasn't like really massively impressed about videos going viral, because I did too. And I think didn't do. I mean, it got a couple of thousand maybe people or whatever, but it's just another thing I can tick and say I've done it, tried it. So it was fun though. It was funny. We laughed our heads off.
Did you come up with the idea and then approach people?
Yeah, I came up with a 6-pack thing. The one guy said, you know, I'll get it. He nearly bottled it in the first hour of the tattoo on the first day.
Is it free? Do you freehand it on?
Yeah. No, the 6-pack was a stencil.
Yeah.
The shoes was a freehanded on.
Yeah.
But man, yeah. So that was 2 days, but the stomach is painful. I mean, that was for me the worst spot. I mean, everyone's different. Some people, they find it okay. But yeah, it was interesting, man. I mean, it settled very nicely, but it got to a point on the second day, you can't even touch it. It was so painful for him. But obviously, there's so many opinions on the internet and all this. I mean, we really intensified it and made it almost like a tan 6-pack. It wasn't supposed to be super subtle, because the guy is chubby, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not like, right, mate, listen, I want this cosmetic surgery and no one must know it's a tattoo.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't what we discussed. But anyway, if you wanted, I could have always blended the edges a bit softer into the skin.
Yeah.
But the idea was it's striking in your face kind of thing. So that take off very well. I mean, even on other pages that shared it got like 3 and 4 million views on their pages, not even on mine. But and TikTok and that, you know, I don't even read all the comments. Like TikTok, it just, you know, can't be asked, mate. Honestly,
yeah. If you get stuck into that, like everyone's got an opinion.
And also, if you do something like that, I don't care how good it is or masterpiece you think it is, be prepared for people to slag it off, and also don't let it put you off, you know what I mean? That's why I wouldn't even reply to comments or care about it. But the shoes one was interesting because I had to freehand that on. That took about, I think, 2 hours.
Was that the same, you came up with the concept and then found someone for it?
Yeah, well, this guy actually said to me, it's a Polish guy, I know him, Blaže. And, you know, he was like, you know, I would get the shoes, because it's ideas that I put out there. But then he came to me and said, yeah, I would like a pair of Nikes on me. So we did this low dunks. And it's weird because the feet, it's, you know, you got to make it fit and make sure everything's around. And then you can't just stick on a stencil because it will just, fold weird on the foot. So it was interesting. I'm glad I did
painful,
it.
Probably.
It's not, super painful for him. He did both feet one go. We sat there, took 10 hours in all for the day.
How would you even let that heal?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I told him just obviously kick your feet up. And I think he had to go back to work after like 3 days. So his feet was back in boots. So don't even know. But he says it's healing great. I know for a fact hands is super difficult. So sometimes it depends how tattooed a person is. Like one of my clients, I did this mask thing, and the hand, hands sometimes would need touch-ups. Feet, it can be very tricky, especially on the fingers. So I'm not always reluctant to go onto the hands because I know the chance of it staying very beautiful and in there and vibrant is quite hard. You're going to need touch-ups for it.
Yeah.
So I like the ideas. People come up with all these things and that, and how it flows on the hand.
I saw that the mask one on the, was it like the anonymous mask,
Yeah. But even other pieces that people make, I think it looks cool for the photo. I just can't see it staying in there, especially if it's just like shaded and faded on there. But yeah, like I said, I'm glad I did it. I'm not in a rush. It's not something I normally do anyway. But that, Ripley's contacted me for it, like I told you earlier. So they're going to put that in the September 2023 edition. the six-pack and the shoes tattoos in Ripley's. And I mean, I remember watching Ripley's as a little boy, and I'm going to be in the book.
Yeah, that's mad. That's big
crazy,
achievement, man. Yeah, you should be proud of that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's sick. I love it. So, like, I want to know maybe what your favorite thing then to tattoo is. Like, of all of the stuff that if you could be doing, like, large scale, I presume. Do you do any smaller stuff?
Hardly, mate. Like, that's why we're completely hidden off the road. As you see, you know, you can't even see the shop. It's appointment only. And I used to work in walk-in shops, you know. We do anything, feathers, infinity, names. I recently went to go work on that ship as well, you know, the world-famous ink on the Virgin thingy. But, you know, for me, it's, you know, they're called little money makers. They're good for business. So if you're completely dead, then, you know, I'll do it. I won't say, no, I'm not doing, I'm too, like, you know. No, I'll fucking do it if I have to. Yeah. But if I can choose, I'll do what makes me happy. And the things that make me happy is challenging. And it's like, you know, sometimes you want to pull your hair out, but that's when you actually create better things and when you learn.
Yeah. So and what sort of stuff would that be? Different placements on the body, unique placements?
Yeah.
Specific sort of
it can be a challenge. And every time, mate, I mean, it's how many years now? Every time I do, say, another full back piece, I approach it different almost. Even the way I apply the stencil or how I create the stencil. Or one time I'll be doing it piece by piece by piece and I need to reapply the stencil, lining it up. Now I'm like, nah, I'm just going to outline the whole thing or like bloodline or like very soft. So everything's on there and then you can just carry on working. I think that's better approach rather than
trying to do like one pass. Like
or even just a bit. Stick the whole thing on and then start in a little corner.
Yeah.
And next time you have to put the whole thing on again. So no, that's definitely not a good approach. I've done that a few times.
So get the bloodlines in, and then you can just learn.
That's it. But definitely larger scale because it's more like you know, like how can I say, like a wow factor when you look at it. It's more impressive, I think. I mean, a tattoo is a tattoo. Don't matter. Don't take value away from it if it's small. I mean, it can be like a pound size, and it can be something for your dad. And it's cool, you know, that's your thing. But for me personally, that's what I enjoy doing. The larger scale things, you know, the realistic, surrealism as well. So color, definitely.
It's nice. And you don't see as many people doing it, you know? So like for people who want that stuff, like I completely get it. Talk to me about, so you mentioned just earlier, talk to me about this tattoo that you did on the cruise. Is it Miami to the Caribbean, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I think you were on there with John Craig.
Yeah.
I've had John on the podcast. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a good lad.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Yeah, so well, John tagged me in it, funny enough, and I thought that sounds awesome, you know. Just got in touch with the guys, look at your portfolio, and then that's it. So we decided to go to Miami. There's a ship in Southampton as well, but we wanted to, because we both wanted to go to Miami. You know, never been there, wanted to check it out. But we went at a bad time, I think, because we went in January, coldest month of the year. So here we go to Miami in fucking bomber jackets and freezing and raining and shit. So there was a few days where the sun came a bit out. So we spent 4 days in Miami and then, on the ship. I mean, I think, okay, let me put it this way. So we didn't go there to make money, not me or him. It was the experience. And, you know, you on a world-class ship, Virgin. It's a very nice studio. Like everything it's actually in the middle of the ship. It's planted so that it's the least rocky when the sea gets like rough. So, and then you sail, and then every few days you stop in a new place, like Bahamas, Bimini, Nassau, Mexico, Dominican Republic, you know, or you just wake up in the middle of the night and you walk out onto your deck and you've just got that warm Caribbean air. Look over the open ocean. It's amazing. So
don't quite get that in Manchester.
Yeah. Walk out into a hailstorm, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
But it was really cool, the experience. Like the only thing, and our ship was pretty dead because of COVID. So the capacity is 2,800. At most, we had 400 to 700 was our most people we had on the ship. And I tattooed in 2.5 weeks. I tattooed $14,000 in just on little things. Like I did paw prints with letters, names, little birds, or like, you know, these quick little small tattoos, infinities I did. So none of that tattoos, like, how can I say?
It was your specific stuff.
It's not something I jump out of bed to go and do. But I understand why we are there. You know, we're there to do these tattoos for people on holiday. So, you know, I happily did it. It's my job. But it's not something I'll continuously do like permanent. Like I got my mate Lee, I introduced him to the people for the ship. And he's not looking back. He's just on it now. He's doing up to Dubai, then Australia, then, you know, like everywhere he's going. So Barcelona. So for him, he loves that life. But I couldn't just be on the ship because I wouldn't be able to really do all these big pieces and really take time. And the other thing I found with the ship is you'll get like, say, these ladies and obviously people been drinking and they'll come in big crowds to you and everyone, it's a bit like on top of you. So for an artist, it can be a bit sometimes too much, I would say.
Is the boat not like rocking?
Well, not really. It's pretty quiet, mate. Like you'll sit there, like in a restaurant, everything, your drink, everything is like dead quiet.
Yeah.
The one night we got a warning. The guy said this is the first time they emailed him like a proper warning for rough seas. But we still win. But if it gets really rough, like things will start moving or whatever, then I'll just close the shop.
Yeah.
And then wait it out.
Yeah. It sounds like a cool... I like this, like, tattooing in different spaces.
Yeah.
If you could tattoo anywhere, like, unique... I mean, I noticed that you had gone and done a tattoo in Kruger Park.
Yes.
Is that on your partner?
Yes.
Tattooing in these mad areas.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about that.
Man, so... it's from what we've known, and our guide, Stephen Kelly, he said no one's ever done a tattoo in the Kruger National Park. You know, it's in the wild with lions and that. What actually happened, we had the perfect opportunity. We were on this open car, right? And we had this pack of lions and they were walking past the car here and that. But that morning when it's 4:30 in the morning, I opened my stuff and all my inks and that leaked from the plane. So I was there 5 a.m, washing all this bottles of ink and, you know, it was a mess. And I was like, no, fuck this. I'm over this now. And we left them tattoo stuff and we went on it and there was all these lines and things. And it was like, that was the golden opportunity. But we still, and then as the week went on, there didn't come another opportunity like that. And I was like so pissed off with myself. But then I think on the second last day, we found more lions, but we were in a different thing, like a van. But you can still open it. Everything, windows is wide open and that. And yeah, so I was sitting there in this moving van with these cling foam wrapping things and, you know, putting on the window. And I put the stencil thing on my partner's hand and you got to be so quick. And we're like, all right, here's the lions.
Hands like moving around.
Yeah. And then my mate tried to follow them. Oh, man, it was funny. But so I tell her, put your arm around the window that side so I can get your arm. She's like, what the fuck, put my arm out the window, man. Like, you know, lion might fucking grab it. So, but yeah, she had a hand in the window and I tattooed it and you could just see the lion walk past and it's all wild lions and stuff, you know?
Yeah, sick.
So that was really cool. I mean, just to, yeah.
Did you get you filmed all of that as well?
Yeah, we filmed it.
Do quite a bit on YouTube?
Yeah. I started a YouTube video. It's called Dean Gunther Tattoo Tips and Trips. So obviously tips and trips, like conventions or all these things. I just need to make more content, figure out what I'm going to put out there. Yeah. You know, some tattoo tips. Once it's fairly new channel, but once I reach 1,000 subscribers, then I can do live videos. So I was thinking when I tattoo, I'll set up like the camera on that and do some live tattooing. And then, you know, my partner can read out, ask questions, and I can talk while I tattoo and explain a few things to people. So yeah, I think I'm at 6 or almost 700 followers. So
I know how difficult it is. Like obviously, kind of running this podcast. This is relatively new, and getting that up on YouTube. Like you said, trying to build traction on social media. It's so important, but so difficult now. I think so many. It used to be a lot easier to kind of build that traction. But you're obviously doing the right thing. Keeping it fresh. But yeah, smashing it. The other thing as well that I've noticed you've been doing is these seminars. This is something that I want to kind of really start going to more of. There's some really cool black and grey artists that I want to get down to. And, when you're just working by yourself, you can stagnate a bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Talk to me about these seminars and kind of the interest you've had for those.
Yeah, mate. So the thing is, because I've been working so many years on my own, say in 10 years, I've literally progressed as much as somebody can do in 2 years, And when I came to England, and within about 3 years, my work changed to a point where people said, "What did you do? Like, how did your work change so much?" And that's because I've been learning from other people. And ever since, even though it's only the two of us here, me and my partner, I still buy seminars online. I bought Phil Garcia. I went to Steve Butcher, Thomas College-Ollie. I did a one-on-one with Joshua Colton. I've got DBK. Me and Sam, my partner, we're actually going next weekend to Rich Harris and Wayla Montero seminar in person. And to
Where's
me...
that?
That is, where is it?
Yeah.
At Rich's Studio, Dark Horse in Birmingham.
Fine.
Or, around about there. So for me, it's you investing in yourself, So for the two of us, that's going to cost $1,600, but that you're going to learn something. And I found it doesn't even matter if it's something small that you learn, it still makes it worth it. And I mean, Joshua Colton, he's been painting over 30 years and he's a tattooist over 20 years. And he mostly does black and gray stuff. But the knowledge he's got about color is insane. And when I had a one-on-one seminar with him, it was during lockdown. We had a Zoom meeting. He taught me stuff that made me change my whole approach to the color. And he's, you wouldn't look at him and think, oh, this is the color guy. So I could recommend anyone, to maybe get in touch with him if you want to improve your color, because he's got a lot of knowledge and experience in that aspect. I've hosted also some of my own seminars. I did one 2021 in May, I think, in UK at my studio here. We kept it nice. We had about 10 people. And then I gave them all a nice package. One of my sponsors gave me a machine injector. So one of them, we did a lucky draw. One of them won a machine.
Nice.
World famous. And all the other people sent me some stuff like sample inks and, stencil honey products and all these things to give out. Quadrant, loads of cartridges. Each one got a box of different ones to try. And then when I went back to South Africa this year in February, March, to my hometown, I did another seminar, also about 10 people. And it was great, especially to be in my hometown. I mean, I don't know any other South African that's ever gone there and did like host a seminar. So, I'm very proud of where I was and how far I've come with it all.
Yeah, man. You can see it, you're like strive to like learn. That knowledge is power,
Yeah, definitely.
And you have to like, if you do it, like, what's the point? Like, if you're not like trying to grow,
that's it.
As a person, as an artist, then what is the point?
Exactly.
I've got to do that. I've got to take some time out for seminars. And I need to put some more effort into my
career, sure. And I mean, even if you do tattoo on your own, you can still do seminars and you'll get amazing tips. And like I say, it's a good investment. The one time I bought a seminar, it was from Sandra Dauschke, and you only have it for 3 months. And I shit, my girl was tattooing the other day. I put the laptop down and I was like, right, I'm going to watch the seminar. And it expired the day before, so I lost it. And it was like 350 quid. But yeah, it's all right. And sometimes friends also share, seminars and that. But I think it's great. It does help,
Yeah.
Especially in person. I know like Rich Harris, Wayla Montero, they have a very unique approach to you know, designs and stuff, and making unique designs. Not necessarily that I want to do that, because my style, and Rich Harris, for instance, it's way different, man. He does all that abstract realism, color, geometric stuff and that. I don't do it at all, but I can still learn from him.
Yeah.
Like how he, you know, put the concept together, these designs, and how to, you know, think more creative and out the box. And that's the kind of things I want to, because sometimes, as you know, we get stuck in a rut. Or you look on the iPad, you want to design and you can't think of nothing.
Yeah.
And then you see other people do stuff and they make it look so easy, designing creative. But I think it's just the more you do it kind of thing, the better you're going to get.
How do you, because obviously we all do get creative blocks. How do you deal with those? How do you deal with the creative blocks and work around them, you know? Is there anyone who's like kind of main that you look at for reference, or is it, what do you do?
Yeah, sometimes I look at people, but I'll be very careful. One of my favorite artists is the Animal Tattooer as well. Don't know if you've seen her work, but it's like less detail, because also the funny thing with detail, if you put too much thingy, you know, you must think how the tattoo is going to look in 10, 20 years. But she's got these very big, bold tattoos, and also having it not just end abruptly, like if the person want to continue or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't want to like make my work look like hers. So there's a fine line of getting inspiration of people's work. Sometimes even look at black and gray people just to look at concepts or how they do things. But then again, it will be good to get hold of someone who's very, very good, say, on an iPad maybe. See if you can get in touch with them, do some sort of a lesson with them or something. Yeah, because sometimes it's just a bit of, you need to know a bit more what tools is available and what you can do, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure.
I think it's a hard one for all artists. We all struggle with that thingy.
Yeah, I guess you've just got to take it back to basics.
Yeah.
If you're not,
walk away a bit, because you'll sit there and you'll just get frustrated. Sometimes you come and you smash something out quick, like, and it works.
Headspace, and you know, like, do you do anything out of work to kind of relax? Like, what's your?
I paint. I've got a massive painting now. Well, it's about 1.2 by 80 centimeter, and it's just a massive tiger head. And I know it's been done. There's people there that just paint tiger heads, but I want to do it this once, and you know, I want to just do it for myself.
Yeah.
All my paintings, like, none of it is really. I think I've done a few commissions here and there. Other than that, I just paint what I want.
Yeah. Just to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also just to have this huge tiger head. I've done a cheetah before, a realistic cheetah, all just freehand. This tiger one I've done with the projector, but the last 10 paintings maybe was all completely freehand, portraits of people, animals, everything straight on with a brush, because I want to challenge myself. But also now having such a big canvas, I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
And
so you've got a projector, like, kind of to get it up on the canvas and then map it out.
Yeah, you put the projector, shine it on the canvas. But like I say, it's not. You can't, how can I say? I personally think it's very creative and people can do things freehand and that. Like I said, this last one of mine, I'm doing the projector. It's a massive piece. I want everything to be kind of perfect. But with the smaller pieces and about, you know, that size, I freehand them, go straight in. And I think eventually I'll just take it bigger, because I think it's more like, how can you say, it's... Wow, that guy did all that freehand.
Yeah.
Rather than just tracing it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, I think it is way more impressive.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows how difficult that is to do. You know, that's when you can see tattoos being done on difficult placements and how well it's been done. You can look at that as an artist and think, oh, fair enough.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Whereas some customers probably wouldn't really notice. Or know the difference.
I bought some of that. Others... you know, the purple ink, like a stencil?
Yeah. And
then with paintbrushes. So I want to kind of incorporate that into my work. I haven't had a piece yet now where I'm going to like use this, but because you're going to have to paint freehand on the body, and obviously it stains. So you've got to kind of
get it right.
Hit it once, get it right.
Yeah.
So I want to change things up a bit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
So, yeah.
Keeping it fresh, man. That's what you got to do. I noticed that you got some sponsors. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Quadrant, Killer Ink, Injector, and Butterlux. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
How did you go about kind of, how did that all come about?
Well, Injector approached me this was over 3 years ago, when after I went on my own to the Titanic tattoo convention. I did a huge octopus on a leg thingy. I won best leg, male or whatever, or best leg tattoo. And then after that, one of the guys I met there, he mentioned to them, because we went down to the North Coast a bit and that. And he mentioned it to Injector, I was there and using the stuff. And then they just messaged me, emailed me out of the blue saying, we speak to, what's his name? Aaron, fuck, he's got a weird, anyway, I'll put that in.
No, it's all right. Spoke to him.
I spoke to him and they'd like to sponsor me. So that one came about with the stencil honey. I actually won a pot of stencil honey in a competition and, started tagging them in that. Craig Starr also, I think he put a word in for me. And, they messaged me and thingy. And then Killer Ink, I was sponsored by them from the previous studio. And then, when I went on, it just kind of carried on. What's the other one? Injector. Quadrant was me.
I think I noticed you talk about Quadrant quite a bit, and I think you really like those cartridges.
Definitely.
What is it about them that you like?
Oh, mate. When I first came to the UK, everything was like on the needle bars and coils and that.
Yeah.
Well, then, that was about the time when I switched over to rotary. But then when I came to the UK, it was like these easy cartridges and things, but they were very hard when you press on it. So even on the coil machine, that thing would just, I don't know, didn't like it. But then I started trying almost every cartridge I could find. And in the studio, everyone would have cartridges. And I think it was Leon Morley down at Immaculate Chaos in Bournemouth at the time. I think he or his girlfriend Natasha gave me a Quadrant. And when I used it, I was like, this is a fucking cool needle. Yeah. That's the first time I heard of Quadrant. And then I just bought it ever since. And it's very expensive, but I like it. And for me, can't stand these needles that either ride like this through the tube or around. And for me, they were very precise, Yeah.
You tend to find sometimes with cartridges, there's like a discrepancy in some are kind of a little bit more open.
Yeah.
So it's finding brands like that are kind of consistent is the most important.
Yeah, and Quadrant, Polish company, they can be quite hard to get hold of. They're not very talkative. I've tried to reach out to them. It's a weird one. It's almost like you try to reach out, not really get a reply. Then I told them, listen, I'm doing a seminar. This was before I was sponsored by them. I said, because I use your needles, I want to give this to the people. Would you be willing, to do like a pack for me? It reached the email thing and they don't really say much, just sent me all the needles and that. And I thought, okay, don't really know what to make of it. Like, do these people, you're not really bothered? And then another, time went on. I got another offer from somebody else, and it was literally at a convention. And it was, which convention was it? Blackpool. I think it was Blackpool convention.
Yeah.
And woke up the Saturday morning, and I just had a message of Quadrant saying, would you like to be on the team? And I noticed they had a few artists because they selected quite a few artists, and a lot of them is like world-class artists. I'm very honored to be with them. I think it's an amazing brand, very good. They look after the people, send you out everything every month. So it's definitely a good company to be associated with.
Yeah, man.
So
yeah, rightly so, bro. You deserve it, you know.
Yeah, thanks, man. I would just like to work towards an ink sponsor eventually.
Who's the dream ink?
World famous, all the way.
Well, you've had it in first.
Yeah, but it's also, yeah, man. I want to work towards it, and it's just something else to also, you don't want it on a platter. I want to work for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It makes it special.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's all about the process. If you just get given it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
that's it.
It's like somebody who's born in a rich family. You're not really gonna appreciate things.
Yeah, man.
You're just gonna think everything is how it is. Like,
yeah,
all this fancy shit and this big house and cars, and that's just, But if you work for something, I think you appreciate it a bit more.
Yeah. If you're anything like me, though, you work for it, then you get it. And I'm like, right, well, I've got it now. So
yeah.
Next thing, and I never really stop to actually enjoy what I've got. But
yeah.
I guess that's life, innit? It's a process. But you know what? I think that actually leads me on really well to asking you the question that was left for you from the previous guest. And the question was,
I'd like to know where they see themselves in 5 years and in 10 years' time within the industry.
Well, I would like to, consider to see myself as a top artist, well-known name in the industry, probably in a warmer climate, on an island maybe. Just got to find the right one, because me and my girl want to be on like an island, have a beautiful big studio with the art gallery, with our artworks, paintings, maybe do classes, seminars there. I like the island vibe. There's a lot of things that changed my mind a bit. I'll tell you about that now. But I'm also in the process of getting my USA work visa, the O1B. It's quite a big process, but then I can work there legally.
Yeah.
So I'm going out to the States. I should have it in the next couple of months. There's big tattoo conventions out there. I just want to get my name out, do guest spots at the absolute best studios with the biggest names, but still do my thing, have my studio, do my thing. But yeah, in the next 5 to 10 years, I think I would definitely, be up there, like just to it's something I really want to achieve. I like competitiveness in a healthy manner, and I want to be successful in every way, sober habits, all these things for me is very important. So
yeah, man. Well, you look like you're on the right trajectory, just keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's good.
Absolutely,
I'm just looking forward to seeing it, and seeing that rise.
It's a journey, just got to enjoy the journey.
100%.
But as we speak on the island thing, when I went out to the Bahamas, there's like nothing, You'll just get the locals. Yeah, like Bimini, Nassau, there was like this, tattoo studio, very, very primitive. It's just the locals and they're selling coconuts and things. You're not going to do business, man. And if you rely on tourists, there was a 2-year lockdown or whatever. Or you can be stranded. And then I had in my head Hawaii, and I had this whole thing. And I spoke to a guy from Florida or something, and he said, because he had many studios, and he said he had a studio in Hawaii, but it's like, it's almost like you'll never really fit in or be accepted as a local. You'll always be kind of like an outsider, and you get a bit claustrophobic on the island, and you're in the middle of nowhere. And look, you got to think realistically, right? It did put things a little bit in perspective for me, because I think it does have a point, because you are in a foreign country, outside of your own culture and stuff. So you got to keep all those things in mind. So that does make me think a bit about...
the location's got to be right.
Yeah.
You want somewhere where there's enough money.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The currencies are shit.
Somewhere like Bermuda, I think, might be, you know what I mean?
I've not been there.
No, I've not either. But again, I think that's, you want those.
And the currency needs to be good as well, because there's Mauritius. Everyone's saying Mauritius is such a upcoming, amazing place with tropical. But then again, the currency is shit. Like the highest paid person in Mauritius, that salary is the lowest paid salary here.
Yeah.
And if you want to travel with your currency, it's going to be very expensive for you. So if you want to do a trip to the States or whatever, super expensive.
So what about Australia?
Australia, I've been invited by one of the guys from Injector. Said, like, you know, when you come, always studios open. So Australia is definitely on the map. New Zealand as well.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few places I want to go. I'm just happy that my partner is also a tattoo artist, because I've always wanted that, you know. Previous relationship, you have someone to do 9 to 5. So we go away to, say, Poland or Prague or, I don't know, Copenhagen or Norway, whatever. But then you must hurry back quickly because he's got work on Monday, you know. And now we can... The only problem I find now, because I'm applying for indefinite leave to remain now. Next year I can apply for my citizenship in the UK. And then I can travel more freely. Because I swear, man, I need a visa for everything. If I go to Holland tomorrow, like I wanted to go to Germany next month.
Yeah.
But... or in September, and I applied 2 months before, and it's not enough. So the soonest I can get a visa is appointment. It's only the 26th of September. So now I'm going to Germany in October. You need all this paperwork. You need letters from your accountant, proof of your business, self-employed, tax returns. Man, it's crazy. Even if you go for 1 or 2 days. I went to Holland for a convention. I had to get all the stacks of papers just for a visa. So, otherwise I would have been through the whole place already, you know?
Yeah.
But, and the Schengen visa is only valid for 3 months at a time. So, I mean, I think we're going to go do a guest spot. Well, I'm doing Art Factors in October, top studio. And then November, Germany, France, at Thomas College or Leeds. Discussed it with him. Just got to sort out dates.
His work's mad.
Yeah, he's always up in France, actually. He's got a studio in London.
Yeah.
But he told me he's most of the time in France. He only comes down now and then. And I think he took a bit of a break of everything and stuff. But top guy. I mean, you know, I went to his seminar as well. I think it was 3 years ago at the London. It was just after the London show. But then with this visa, I'll definitely make work of it, you know. Shoot over, like, that's the cool thing. If we maybe both off in the week, we'll just go Amsterdam or go wherever we want.
Yeah. No, nice. I think it's so important.
Yeah.
So that's like covering guest spots. What about any conventions?
Yes.
Are you doing any of this?
Yes. First one coming up now is London.
Yeah, I'm going to be there as well.
Yeah, I was going to do Turkey, but I think, like, man, people say prices went from like 60, 80 quid a ticket to like $500 a ticket. And it's very hard to get a person from the UK charge. I always do people's deals on like conventions because, you know, they're kind of coming in and you need somebody. And so I always kind of do a bit of a deal. But I mean, it's a lot to ask for a person to, right, come to Turkey, fly there, book your hotel, your tickets, and pay me. And so I really, really want to do it because I've got amazing artists in Turkey as well.
Yeah.
Especially these Ukraine artists. And you know, they also blow my mind, some of them. But yeah, so that is the one. I really wanted to do Ibiza. I'll probably do that next year. So yeah, I think for now, the one that's left is probably, because I did Liverpool, the last one.
Yeah.
So now it will be...
Were you there last year?
Which?
Was I maybe at the Liverpool one last year, I think?
No, I wasn't at last year's one, man.
No.
So yeah, it's London one, and then I'm sure there's something else I just can't think of now. But definitely in the States, they've got Hell City and all these big ones, and hosted by Nico and Carlos Torres and all these guys.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, new journey, man. Got to do it. Get out there, you know.
That's it.
So, and I'd want to do it the right way. I mean, I've got a 10-year holiday visa for USA. Like I can go to any time holiday, but I want to work legitimately, you know. I don't want to be banned because it just takes one slip up and you got to look over your shoulder. I want to take my banners and my shirt and all my gear, like knowing I'm allowed to be there and work there and I pay for it and everything.
Yeah, man.
So...
Yeah, well, I'll make sure I'll have to come and say hi at the London one this year, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be around with the podcast.
Yeah, that'll be great, man. Yeah.
So.
I'm doing another like African thing. I think I met a lad at the Liverpool one, where I also did like an African chest piece. I don't know if you've seen it.
I think so.
So it's going to be something like that, half sleeve kind of thing.
You're going to do like 2 days back to back.
2 days back to back. I could get quite a lot done in 2 days. You know, like a good 3/4 sleeve, I would say I could get done. And I remember in the beginning, like with the color, took so slow, man, so slow. But then you just become faster with it, you know.
Yeah, just get used to it.
Yeah.
I think that kind of leads me on quite nicely. What I always try and do is get you to pick a piece from one of your most recent
right.
work. I think we looked at this.
The Man City.
Yeah, on the leg, isn't it?
Yes.
Talk to me about how you kind of came up with that concept and how that kind of came around. I also want to know what you're doing with your photography as well, because the thing looks so vibrant.
Right, cool. So the guy, Chris, very nice lad. I mean, you know, sometimes your customers become your friends, you know, and I think he's like one of those guys you can walk around. Well, he came to me with the idea. I'm not a football fan at all. I mean, in South Africa, it's not something we grow up watching, you know what I mean? It's more rugby, cricket what we do. But I get it. I mean, the people's mad about football. So anyway, he came with this badge idea, but he said instead of the badge, because I know you do color realism and stuff, can you just take out the pieces of the badge and create a full leg sleeve in like your realistic color style?
Yeah.
And I was all over that. So I was like, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you could maybe like pull up somewhere the tattoo and the badge, but you'll have the eagle with the 3 stars, which we've done on the top of the thigh. And then the sailing ship with like, on the mass, it's blue with 3 white stripes
on the
representing the rivers, and then with the the emblem thing or whatever, the saying, you know,
the banner,
in a banner underneath. So yeah, we've portrayed that whole thing out on the leg, and that was a pretty cool and unique thing for me to do. You know, had to be creative with it, and he absolutely loved it. So he did. It's his first tattoo, and he toughed it out, you know. 3 days back to back. Gave him a weekend to rest, and then Monday, Tuesday, we smashed it again.
How many days was that in total then?
5. 5 days full out leg, yeah.
That's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a big commitment. What what are your working days and what are you charging at the minute? What's your kind of thing?
I charge 800 a day at the minute, and I don't work Sundays, but other than that, you know, normally it's most days it's like 2 consecutive days. I like to have a bit of a day off in between. So if I can do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, that's pretty good. Or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and at least have a day in between just so I can chill and work on the next design.
Yeah.
Because I've done it before where I've been tattooing every single day and I finish at 11 at night. Now I'm knackered, man. Now I must go back and design something else again, you know. Yeah. Then you don't want to half-ass it. You want to be fair because obviously the people pay you, so you want to do your best. And I do very long days, man. Like a day session is 6 to 10 hours, but sometimes I do 10 or even more hours. But I think if you can do a 6 hour, 6-7 hours is a good session. I don't think you need more than that in a day.
And also, surely, I don't think there's that many clients can sit for longer than like 6, 7.
That's it. And then it just becomes excruciating. It's not enjoyable. You don't want to rush the tattoo just to not hurt them. So no, man. Also, a big thing I want to say, numbing stuff is absolutely, I don't rate it at all. Honestly.
It doesn't last that long.
No, and my girlfriend had a very bad reaction to stuff. I'm not going to say what it was here, but I spoke to the guy and I had to take it to A&E, and it's like very strong stuff. And the doctors said they took her bloods and everything for infection. There was no infection. I've never seen this in my life. And they said it was a chemical reaction. So it was something in that stuff. And
what actually happened? Burns?
Yeah, it was like burns. It was really risen. It was so absolutely sore to the touch that you'll cry. Like it was, man, she had to lay with her arm. It was just horrific to see her like that. And I have a mate who nearly died from counterfeit numbing cream. He bought counterfeit Dr. Numb from eBay or something. And his arm, he got tattooed by a very good tattoo artist. And literally, mate, there's almost nothing there. He said he went like this with his finger and he wiped the whole tattoo off like rotten. Just came off. He was in ICU for like weeks. His arm was on a drip, and then they drained liters of pus every day off his arm. They said you would have died, mate. If you came like a day late, you'd have been dead. And so numbing stuff, there's never been numbing things, back in the day I can remember. Never used numbing in my life. Don't like it. There was another lad who had a heart attack. They even sprayed for 3 days on end with shit on his back. They wrapped him up, for 3 full days, did a full back. And I think the Monday or something had a heart attack. He survived in that, but it just shows you, because lidocaine and that stuff is not good for your heart and your skin absorbs it. I mean, if you use a little bit, you're not going to get a heart attack. But what I'm saying is, people got to be careful. Especially and who they're buying from and where. Because a lot of this stuff's not legal, and people just make their own numbing stuff. Yeah. So the tattoo healed actually meant on my girl. I didn't think it would. The way I look at it, it don't, or didn't need a touch up or anything. But I think most tattoos can maybe do with a little bit of touch up, or if you give it another pass, it will. Because it's always just a little bit that can do with a bit of a once over. Yeah.
It's like a collaboration with the healing as well, And it's like even if the tattoo artist and the client has done everything they can do, there's still external factors.
Some people just have very weird skin or tough skin.
So, last thing I want to ask you, 2 things about you. I want to know what your most painful tattoo is on yourself and what your most meaningful tattoo is on yourself.
Right. All right. So... Well, my mom's like my best friend, right? And we've been through very, very serious times. And I've got her name tattooed across my stomach. That was also the most painful one. So, I got to think, man, because I've got all over my legs.
Talk to me about these. I really want to know about the face ones, obviously. I think most people would want to know.
Well, that just says one life, live it. I mean... And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not sitting on my ass watching the world go by me. I'm out there and I'm doing things, and I want to just be the best version of myself I can be. And so I think that's good. Meaning it's you can't really read it. It's English, so if you're going to look at it, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But people often ask me, what language is that? Or is it like ruins or something? But no, it's not. I had it years ago in South Africa before I came here. But the most meaningful one to me was the one I got done, like, the guy did prison style. Like that's
we'll have a look at this when we start recording.
I'll never cover it. It's the first one I ever got. So that is for me, like, I remember I was so proud of it. 2 quid. I had to take him on my bike to the Shebeen for beer and weed. That was part of the deal. And that's it. I got my tattoo.
Love it. So good, man. Yeah, no, it's sweet. It's been a good chat.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to do is get you to leave a question then for the next guest. We're recording an episode today. It can be tattoo related, non-tattoo related.
Okay.
Fire away.
Are you scared to die? And where do you think you go after you die? Is there life or not?
Like it. What do you think?
I like to think there's life after death. I think our body's just a vessel. We've got a spirit, go somewhere.
Yeah.
I think if you're a good person to other people and animals, you'll go somewhere good.
Are you afraid of dying?
I think there was a time where I was a lot, but I think it's something we can't escape. Like recently, my girlfriend's dad passed last week, and it's like it just makes you realize, you know.
Yeah, life is so short. I think you just have to live every day to. Do you know what I mean?
It.
And like you said, try just do what you can, become the best version of yourself. You know.
And that's it, mate. And I mean, if you think about it, how long you're alive compared to how long you're going to be dead. You're going to be dead for hundreds, maybe thousands of years, maybe a million years. You'll be dead. You're only going to live for like maybe 70 to 100 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So you'll be dead for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we're only a fraction. We're alive, so you might as well enjoy it.
100%. Hey, it's been really good. Loved it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
thanks
being
for
on the
coming.
episode, man.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, it's been good, and I'll probably catch up with you again in London in September.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Cheers, Dean. Thank you, bro.
Awesome. Cheers, bro.
Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast this week. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and the follow button to be notified of every new release wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button on YouTube as well. I'm Alex Lloyd, and this is the 21st Century Tattoo. Thanks for listening.